Let's talk about losing weight and feeling great in and through menopause. All right. So if you guys know, that's my before and after picture. I was a woman going through perimenopause, having some struggles, holding on to some extra inflammation and weight. And I have been able to follow exactly what we're going to talk about here tonight. And it's been life-changing for me. It really has. So I want to talk about all three stages, and I did just talk about that before. Perimenopause typically lasts 4 to 8 years. It can last a lot longer. That is the transition phase. That is when we can start having some fluctuating hormone levels. We can start feeling like the hot flashes, the moodiness, irregular periods, and this can last for a decade, even more. Then there's the menopause. Technically, it is the pause of menstruation. That's 12 months in a row, no period. That's when you're going through menopause. After that, you are postmenopausal. So, just a little bit about what's going on in our bodies through this entire transition. We're stopping having periods, our hormone levels are dropping. This is usually a transition period in which women are going to the doctor and asking a lot of questions. They're struggling with things like skin issues, vaginal dryness, osteoporosis, urinary incontinence, the irregular periods, breast fullness or tenderness can be an issue, moodiness, weight gain, the weight goes up. And that's usually one of the biggest reasons why people go to the doctor, because all of a sudden they're trying to do some working out, they're trying to get some exercise in, and the weight goes in the wrong direction. That was an issue for me. So, weight gain is one of the most common complaints for women going through this transition. Women tend to put on weight as they age, especially as hormones start to drop. Now, as well, sarcopenia or muscle loss naturally starts occurring as we age, compounding the weight problems because the more muscle you have, the more your body can burn sugar naturally. The less muscle you have, those carbs, the sugar that we get in our food, your body just can't burn it off at rest like it used to. So if you go to the doctor and you're struggling, whether it's with weight or whether it's with mood, a lot that the thing the doctor usually says is, okay, you're struggling a little bit, whether it's with mental health or physical health, get more exercise, eat less food, you're going to get where you want to be. However, as most of us know, it's not exactly how it works. So, eating less calories can lower the metabolic rate. I have a lot of women that will reach out to me and say, Jen, I'm only eating one meal a day. Jen, I'm barely eating. I'm still gaining weight. That's because calories in does not necessarily equal calories out. And if you start restricting your calories too much, you actually bottom out your metabolism, and that's a problem. You're literally just lowering your metabolic rate. So, can you do lower calorie days? Yes, you can. You just can't do that every day, guys, because it's gonna come back and haunt you in the background. Now, hormones. Hormones, of course, matter. The ghrelin hormone naturally gets higher as we age. Ghrelin hormone is the hungry hormone. Literally, your hormones that cause hunger start to go up as we age. Now, as well, leptin levels, there's another hormone. Leptin levels lower naturally in menopause. Leptin is what helps you realize if you're full or not, if you're storing fat or not. And so this is really going to have a huge effect on your cravings. So it's important to understand all these hormone fluctuations and metabolism issues are coming at you as we age as women, as well as the other estrogen and progesterone fluctuations, which we're going to talk about. All of this is coming at you all at the same time. This is why we often struggle and we get into these weight issues and this metabolism issues. Now, cardio exercise. When you go to the doctor, they're going to say, get some more exercise. If you're struggling with weight or if you're struggling with your metabolism, get some exercise. However, running on the treadmill can help burn off excess sugar in your bloodstream if you're eating too much sugar, but not fat. And I need you to understand that for women who want to start doing some cardio, thinking it's just going to get that extra belly fat gone in a matter of days, months, weeks, it's not how it works. Because if your insulin levels are high, If you're in an insulin resistant state, if you've been consuming sugar and carbs for the last 10, 20 years, your insulin levels tend to be high, and you are going to be at a stuck mode where the treadmill is going to do nothing for your fat, only help with the sugar that's in your bloodstream. Great if you're type 2 diabetic and you want to get your blood sugar down, but it's not going to help whittle the waistline, which can often be a problem for us as we age. Now, as well, too much cardiovascular exercise, like too much running, too much treadmill, too much of the brisk walking, can actually cause our progesterone levels to fall and our stress hormones to go up. Over exercising is actually something I see a lot of. Women who are exercising too much and making their body actually hold on to fat. So if you're someone who has started an exercise regimen and you don't realize that you have to come in and out of exercising as a woman so you don't have so much stress on your body, this is something we're going to talk about. So a lot of women are ready to get metabolically healthy. They're ready to get rid of some of that belly fat. So important to understand, if you're eating carbohydrates, if you're eating bread, rice, if you're getting a lot of sugar in your diet, all right, and you're working out, that's great. You're going to burn off the sugar that you eat because that sugar is automatically going to go straight into the muscle, even without insulin. That's what's amazing about working out. It's just not going to burn fat. I need you guys to understand that. Is it still healthy for you? Is it still great to get good cardiovascular exercise? Yes. It's just not going to burn the fat. And I need you to understand the difference between the two, because so many people reach out to me and they're trying to detox their liver and detox the belly fat, and they're running all the time, or they're getting a lot of good cardiovascular exercise and it's not getting them anywhere. So I want you to understand how all of this works. So when your body runs out of readily available sugar in the bloodstream, it can actually start breaking down muscle tissue for energy. Now, in intense exercise, it's going to break down some of that muscle tissue and then it's going to rebuild that muscle tissue if you're consuming the right protein, the right food, which most of us also are not doing. And this is where it can be a problem. You can actually overwork out and cause muscle breakdown, which is not what we want to do. As we're aging women, we need to keep that muscle mass on the best we can, right? That's so important for our metabolic health. So exercising, breaking down of muscle is actually perfectly normal, and we can rebuild that muscle with the right nutrients. Now, a lot of us talk about fasting and exercising during fasting. If you're doing yoga, if you're doing cycling, bicycle, okay? If you're going for walks, nice brisk walks, burning some sugar out of the bloodstream. Wonderful, wonderful for your body. But after you get home from your workout, we're going to, as women going through menopause, get in about 15 to 25 grams of protein and carbs after our meal, within 30 minutes after our meal, if we are looking to rebuild and maintain muscle mass. This is maybe a little bit of a change from what I've been talking about in the past, because I talk about you guys getting exercise in the fastest state. Now, a light walk, 10 to 15-minute walk, you don't have to follow that up with protein. I'm talking about if you're getting some real cardiovascular exercise where your heart rate is up, you decide to do some squats and go up and down the stairs a few times, and you're really trying to get your heart rate going, you're breaking a little bit of a sweat. Okay, that's considered cardiovascular exercise. And right after that, within 30 minutes, as a woman, you're going to want to consume around 20 grams of protein. Okay, you can even have some light carbs with that. A great idea is like Greek yogurt with some berries, a protein shake with a little bit of fruit. Heavy lifting, if you want to lift heavy weights, I don't know if you guys have seen so many women online, so many gurus talking about lifting weights as women, all right? Like, this is the best way for us to increase our muscle mass as women, is just doing 4 to 6 reps of heavy weights. Now, to do that, you want to do that during your eating period. During your eating period. You don't want to get up first thing in the morning and lift some heavy weights, not consume any food, because it's not going to build the muscles. You're going to get that muscle breakdown, but you're not going to get the rebuild like you want. Again, I want to remind you, Muscle breakdown and rebuild is a constant process, but if we're working out too much and not getting the protein in that we need, we can break down more than we rebuild. And the goal is as we're aging as women and our hormones are off, is to get more protein and more muscle. This is literally what we need to do. So let's talk about some of the things that really do work for women. Eating the right food. So fasting, you guys, fasting is amazing for women. Anyone who says women cannot fast are crazy. They've never done it and they don't know how to do it. Fasting is great. Now, do we fast 24 hours or, 18 to 24 hours every single day? No, we don't do that as menopausal or postmenopausal women. We do not. And we're going to talk all about that. Now, having some low carb meals, drinking our beautiful balanced fiber, and we'll talk more about that as well. Getting in good fiber and good low carb meals, amazing for women trying to become metabolically flexible and struggling with any kind of weight issues as we are aging. Prioritizing protein and fiber is going to be number one. Now, exercise. You can exercise during the eating window and out of the eating window. You just need to do it in the right ways, like we were talking about earlier. Low intensity exercise during your fasting window will actually burn fat. This is what I'm talking about when I'm talking about a light walk, light yoga, some cycling. Not talking about getting your heart rate way up, dripping with sweat. No, I'm talking about low intensity is going to keep your cortisol low and actually help you burn fat for fuel. Now, exercise during the right times of the month, perfect for your hormones. For someone who is past menopause, you can exercise literally as much or at least as you want. For those who are going during perimenopause, we have to give ourselves more breaks because of our hormone fluctuations are so much worse. Now, stress levels, guys, stress, your cortisol, your hormones will be completely off by stress. Mental health matters so much. You can overwork out and put on belly fat because of cortisol. You can eat the wrong foods that will crash your GLP and make you crave more carbs, more sugar. Really, you guys have to focus on stress mitigation. This is absolutely 100% a priority for women during peri and through postmenopause, because if you are high stress 24/7, that cortisol hormone is going to be a hot mess. It'll destroy your insulin levels, your estrogen, your progesterone, your adrenals will go out of control. It really, truly does matter. So you often hear me talk about supplementation in our Udamate and our fiber. Our beautiful Udamate tea actually helps fix the ghrelin and leptin balance. It helps balance these hormones. Now, working out, fasting can help you burn fat. Like we said, the lighter workouts will help you burn fat in the fasted state. If you want to do a heavier workout, you can still do that in the fasted state, but you need protein after. Okay, protein after. Men can wait 3-4 hours. They can wait hours more before they need to start taking in protein. Women, not so much. Because of our biology, within 30 minutes of our workout, we need to consume some protein. Not a lot, not a huge meal. We're talking 20 grams of protein. And this will help you hold on to and build more muscle. Now, eating the right foods is absolutely needed to balance your hormones. Things like the salmon, beans, peas. You guys hear a lot of people talking about beans right now. They are a great resource for you to help balance hormones. The tropical fruits, citrus fruits, berries, like some of these things are higher carb, right? We don't do it all month, but we do it part of the month. And we're going to get into that as well. Working out during the fed state is going to add the muscle mass. So if you guys are wanting to start a workout regime, which I recommend for all women, of every age, right? But it's even more essential after the age of 40 to be focusing on your muscle mass. And whether it is getting up and down out of your chair at home and just doing like body weight squats with your legs, being able to try to do a push-up. You can't do a push-up, work on learning to do a push-up. And it doesn't matter your age. I don't care if you're 100 years old. we need to focus on muscle mass because those are our longevity muscles. There are longevity muscles. Working out really matters. So, this is a video I had from Dr. Jim Stefani. So he's really a workout guru. I'm not going to go through his whole video today, but this is one of the things we talk about. You guys will hear me talking about the supplement quite often is our stronghold. So our stronghold is a supplement we have with Unicity. It's got creatine in it, leucine, HMB, and it has a little bit of protein. What's important about things like creatine and leucine and getting in these amazing amino acids that keep your muscles fed. You drink something like this daily, every single day, even if you're not getting all of the protein numbers that you need, even if you're not going and working out, this is going to help you build muscles and maintain muscles over time. So if you're someone who's absolutely against the working out, but you really are concerned about your muscle mass, or if you're doing the absolute minimum, you may really want to look into the stronghold. If you have questions about the stronghold, we can get you tons of information on it. It really is phenomenal. I need you to understand that it takes about 12 weeks to really start working, 12 weeks of consistently drinking this every single day before you are going to start feeling stronger, before you're going to actually see muscle mass. But the science behind it is absolutely incredible. Creatine has been studied for decades. It's literally the most studied nutrient, the most studied like supplement that you can possibly take. It's been out there forever, and it's been shown that just 3 to 5 grams a day, game changer for women. Game changer for women. Now, if you're wanting to work out, guys, if you really want good metabolic health, get some exercise. Honestly, working out in the fed state during our eating window, that's what I mean by fed state. This is perfect if you want to do some heavy lifting or HIIT. Basically, that's high impact. That's like going for a 30-second run or walking as fast as you can for 30 seconds and then walking for 2 to 3 minutes until your heart rate automatically comes down to zero, right? Comes down to baseline, that's zero. Comes down to baseline so that you're not having a high heart rate, and then zooming the heart rate up and then going down. What people do is they'll do like a quick sprint and then walk all the way back to where they sprinted from. People will do like very brisk walking, getting the heart rate up, and then just walking very slowly until the heart rate comes back down. That's what HIIT means, okay? So it's high interval training, but it's tiny little bursts. So all of the studies are showing us is that for women, especially women after menopause, and you may look at me right now and say, what in the world are you talking about, Jen? At 60, at 70, at 80, am I going to start working out and lifting heavy weights and all of a sudden running? Yes. Honestly, it's the most amazing thing that you can do for your body. That is going to give you longevity, energy, strength. It is going to keep you out of the nursing home. It is going to give you independence. When you are older, I'm telling you guys, this is what we need to be doing. Now, the intense cardio, like I don't expect you to start jogging every single day for miles on end. And honestly, it really doesn't work for women past menopause. It really doesn't. The intense cardio, the people who are doing the Orange Theory and are hitting the treadmill every single day and they're dripping with sweat and all of that. Unless you're eating the exact macros for your body, for your BMI, you're working with a trainer to do all the right exercises, it's literally going to tank your system. It is very hard to do intense cardio without multiple people measuring all these perfect things for you and you weighing your food and all that. That's why I don't recommend doing any of that, guys. I really don't. But if you want to lean into and learn how to do some of the heavier lifting or the HIIT, guys, the high interval training, this is where we really need to focus as women, and we can do this. So for our perimenopausal women, like myself, women whose cycles are starting to get off, they're irregular, they're kind of all over the place, right? Light workouts, brisk walks, cycling, light yoga can all be done in the fasted state during our fasted window. Lifting weights, again, good 20 grams of protein after within 30 minutes. And here's the thing to understand if you're in the perimenopause state, the week before your period, no heavy workouts, no high interval training. No lifting heavy weights. Focus on stress mitigation in walks. The goal is to keep cortisol low. Okay, keep stress low, cortisol low, and allow your body to create the estrogen and progesterone it needs. Right? You have to be able to create those hormones naturally, and we can absolutely do it if we focus on our cycle. Now, for the menopausal women or post-menopause, you can do short bursts of protein boosted lifting and the high interval training. So you could do a little protein before and a little protein after and really do phenomenal things for your muscles. Phenomenal things for your muscle. Cardio, guys, post-menopause, we do not need to be running. We do not need to be doing crazy cardiovascular workouts. We really don't need to. The studies are showing us you can get heart healthy just doing the high interval training, which is literally 30 seconds of getting your heart rate up and then a few minutes of letting it relax. Like a little burst in running as fast as you can, literally for 30 seconds, and then walking for 3 or 4 minutes and doing that 3 or 4 times. That's literally all you need. You don't need to run for miles. You don't need to be on the machines dripping with sweat. It's honestly not even going to do you as much good as it could in your 20s, in your 30s. That's fine. That works then. It does not work for us after menopause. Post-meal walking, phenomenal for your body. Phenomenal. Low impact, sugar lowering movement. You guys, using resistance bands after a meal, using resistance bands, doing just the calf raises, just moving your arms and legs to make your body use the energy and burn off some of the extra sugar, lowering your insulin levels, lowering the amount of insulin that has to be released from your pancreas from any sort of meals that have sugar or carbohydrates, guys, even fruits and veggies. This is phenomenal for your body. It is going to keep you so that you can burn fat for fuel in the fasted state alone, meaning when you're not eating, you can burn fat for fuel. The truth is so many of us struggle with weight as we're going through menopause, and it's the fat that we want to get rid of. Fat is burned off in the fasted state, meaning when you're not doing anything, when you're not eating, literally while you're sleeping, you're burning fat for fuel. If during your eating window, you're exercising, you're getting in some movement, and there's simple things that you can do, guys. It does not even require a gym membership. Can you? Yes, of course. Is it wonderful for you? Absolutely. But I need you to understand your estrogen levels are going down, 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 down as we age. And as our estrogen tends to go down, all right, how we exercise needs to change, because when our estrogen is lower, if we overly stress our bodies with too much exercise, we literally go the other way and we cause insulin problems, we cause cardiometabolic issues. It honestly does us no good. So we really have to focus on that. So what should our focus really be? Yes, I'm talking all about exercise today because I want everybody to get that exercise that they need to be metabolically healthy. But as well, food is number one. Food is number one. Before you start worrying about working out and what time of day you're going to work out and how much you're going to work out and how much you need to sweat and all of those things, you need to have the right fuel in your body or it's not going to do you any good. If your blood sugar is high all the time, your insulin's going to be high all the time. If you're eating 3 meals a day and 3 snacks a day, your blood sugar is going to be constantly spiking, which is going to cause insulin to be released from the pancreas, keeping your insulin levels high. When insulin's high, you can't burn fat for fuel. You're always in sugar storage mode, guys. Constantly and consistently. Then, if your insulin's high, if your blood sugar's high, it doesn't matter how much working out you do. You will not burn fat for fuel. That's the science behind it. Doing some time-based eating or fasting, that's what absolutely worked for me to not only balance my hormones, but get rid of the extra fat around the tummy. And our beautiful Unimate that helps us burn more fat for fuel when we drink it first thing for breakfast, not only does it help us burn more fat, but it helps with the insulin sensitivity issues that are a struggle for menopausal women. The truth is when the insulin levels are low and the carbs coming in are lower, the body is a fat burning machine. So if you're struggling at getting the right foods in, you're struggling at that focus, this is what we're talking about right here. So you want to keep the insulin levels lower so your body can access the energy stored in the fat in the rested state. We burn fat for fuel in the rested state. We don't burn fat for fuel on the treadmill. We burn sugar out of the bloodstream, guys, which is good. That sugar is then not stored as fat for later. But if you want to burn fat, you have to have some time when the insulin level is low and some time when you're not eating. So your body needs to dig deep to use those fat storage as energy. When you fix your blood sugar and you fix your insulin, then you can start focusing on adding muscle. So that's why often when I'm coaching and talking to people, they'll come to me and they'll say, okay, I want to do this muscle thing, and I want to do the creatine, and I want to do this, and I want to do this, and I want to, guys, focus on one thing at a time. And once you've got it figured out, then add another, then add another, then add another. Start doing some walks after your meals. And I'm talking to anyone perimenopause through postmenopause. Start doing some walks after your meals. Don't focus on high intensity workouts. Don't go out and just grab a gym membership and start going on the treadmill or start walking, your brisk walking until you're sweating. Guys, if you haven't gotten the food under control, if you haven't gotten your blood sugar and insulin under control, the exercise can even do more damage than good. It can actually spike your adrenaline, spike your cortisol, and tell your body to hold on to more fat. We got to focus on food first. This is why we do the intermittent fasting. And I know a lot of you have seen me show this before. We do the tea first thing in the morning for breakfast. This is going to heal the gut microbiome, make it so we crave better food. This is going to take down our insulin resistance as well as inflammation in the body. Our beautiful Unimate tea helps with leptin and ghrelin balance that naturally just goes haywire as we age. It helps with our cravings. It helps us take in less carbs. These are some customizable tools that we have for ourselves, guys. And then we have this beautiful balanced fiber. We can drink before any meals that have carbs, that have sugar, that have bread and your rice. Fruits or vegetables even, guys. That's carbs. We want to keep the carb and sugar spikes lower. You can do it drinking the beautiful balanced fiber before your meal. If we've got some ladies on here and you're not using the balance, you're not using this beautiful fiber as a tool, and you're still struggling with your blood sugar and your energy levels and burning more fat for fuel in the rested state, this may be the thing you're missing. You're not getting all the gut healing. You're not getting that insulin sensitivity. Because when you get less of a blood sugar spike, which is what our fiber is for, we drink it before the meal, it binds to the sugar and the carbs in your meal, less sugar spike. Less sugar means less insulin. Insulin is lower, we burn more fat for fuel in the rested state. That's the trick. That's the trick. We want to get rid of belly fat. We do it in the rested state, and we do it by eating the correct foods. So again, I'm going to keep talking about working out, guys, because it's essential for us women. It really is. I know sometimes we see our lazy guys sitting on the couch and we want to do that too, but we have got to move. We got to move our bodies. We want to build lean muscle mass. We want to burn off that extra sugar from the carbs by doing some light exercise after our meals. Simple things. Just getting up and down out of your chair a few times, like as a squat, right? Going, rocking the foot from toe to heel, back and forth. All right. That just moving the calf muscles. Crazy how much your legs burn sugar. Your legs are your biggest muscles for burning sugar. Guys, use them. This also helps with mental health. Your physical and your mental health go hand in hand. You release these amazing endorphins. I'm just saying, don't go anything crazy. Don't go crazy weights. Don't go crazy sweating exercise until you've balanced your food. First, do the simple things. Walking, yoga, bicycling. Simple things. Burn off a little bit of extra sugar so you can get your insulin levels lower so you're ready to move on to the next phase. Now, for perimenopause. Okay, so for hormones, guys, No matter what stage of menopause you're in, hormones matter. For our perimenopausal women, this is the fasting and feasting calendar, and this can be an absolute game changer, guys. Seriously, an absolute game changer. If you are a woman who is struggling in the perimenopause state and your cycles are all over the place, this is Dr. Mindy Pelt's fasting calendar. She's been a fasting guru for decades now. She's incredible. She's incredible. She's written 3 books talking all about all things women's hormones, and she's just game changer. So she talks about day 1 of your cycle is the day that you begin your period as a perimenopausal female. And I know some of them will reach out to me and say, oh, well, I haven't had a period in like 2 months. Then I have one. Then I don't have one for 3 months. Then I have one. Okay, pick whatever your day 1 is closest to when you should have your period, and that's when you start. You can do more keto eating, and we'll talk about that. Ketobiotic eating, we're going to talk about that as well. And you can do longer fasts if you like. You can do shorter fasts if you like. Then day 11 through 15, we're going to focus on hormone feasting foods, like I was talking about earlier, and I'm going to talk about more. Hormone feasting foods. Eat the foods that feast your hormones. And I know some of us, we get used to the fasting. I know some of our ladies on here, you get used to the fasting, and all of a sudden you're eating 1 meal a day. And you can do that post-menopause. Pretty good. You still got to flex out of it. And we're going to talk all about that. But for our perimenopausal women, we've got phases where you can do longer fasts and you can go lower carb and do phenomenal. You can even calorie restrict yourself if you want. Really burn some great fat there. But then there's days you have to focus on hormones and you have to feed those hormones. And if you don't, if you just go hard into fasting and you're fasting OMAD 24 hours every single day, just 1 meal a day, you will tank your hormones. You absolutely will. And then for the women in perimenopause, day 20 until you have your period, we do not fast. We do not do the heavy exercise. We try to focus on our mental health. This is not a time that we're trying to, that last 10 days of the cycle, we're not focused on weight loss, we're focused on hormones. And it really, really can be a game changer when you can follow this. So perimenopause is when you have the symptoms of menopause, the hot flashes. The period maybe doesn't exist 1 month, then it does. But you still have periods, so just very irregular. Then 12 full months, that's the menopause itself. Okay, so I know some of our ladies on here are past this, but we're going through all of these for everyone on here today, whether you're younger, older, doesn't matter. Your hormones absolutely matter. And if you're not focused on eating the right food for your estrogen and your progesterone, as we age, your adrenals are going to take over making your hormones. Your ovaries won't work the way they need to because you're not feeding them the food they should. And all of a sudden, that's why your cortisol is up and you're so stressed. And going into menopause, then we have all of this to fix. All right. So for our peri women, all right, before post-menopause, and I know I put both of these into one lecture, so I'm sorry, there's so much overlap, guys, but for the perimenopause women, the adrenal glands, we have to be careful with our sleep-wake cycle. We have to get good sleep. Very important. Deal with stress, deal with blood sugar fluctuations, help get yourself electrolytes, plenty of water, focus on your mood and mental clarity. You can do this with fasting and you can do this with the right supplementation. Our beautiful Unimate tea, wonderful supplementation for both your mental clarity, your mood, and to help with fatigue. All right. Eating the right foods and exercising at the right time is essential for perimenopause. Over stressing your body. I see women in perimenopause make this mistake over and over and over again. They get these gym memberships. They're running like crazy on the treadmill and they're literally just tanking their estrogen and throwing their cortisol through the roof and causing all kinds of problems where they're actually retaining belly fat. It's a very bad cycle. And you really have to focus on getting out of it. And I know mentally it's hard to say do less and you're going to get more, but that's really exactly how it works. Now, for the women past having a cycle, you haven't had a cycle in 12 months or more. All right. You can kind of fast really, really crazy fast. You can do a 72-hour fast when you want to. You can go OMAD 5 days a week. But here's the thing. your body still has to build hormones. If you still have at least one ovary, you're making hormones. If you don't have an ovary, even more important, because your focus is going to be on your adrenals for making your estrogen. That means at least 1 day a week, you need to not do fasting, you need to not do intense exercise, and you need to focus on hormone building because your body still needs that intake of good food to build hormones naturally. Now, some people will come and ask me questions about hormone replacement. You want to do hormone replacement? Go for it. Nothing wrong with hormone replacement. If that is what you want, go for it. If you're going to do it, I recommend you do like the individual microdosing and not the regular prescription stuff because the prescription stuff typically is a struggle for most women and is too strong. So what does this 5-1-1 look like? Okay. So for women past menopause, 5 days of fasting, you can go 13 to 16 hours. You can go a little bit more if you want to. Okay. I don't recommend doing a 24-hour fast every single day when you are past menopause. Doing the one meal a day past menopause can be a problem for a lot of women because you don't get in enough protein and you don't get in enough healthy hormone feasting food. Okay. I usually recommend 5 days a week, you're getting 2 meals. Now, 1 day a week, you can just do the one meal, or you can fast the whole day until the next day. Get some amazing autophagy, get some fat burning in, feeling phenomenal. But then 1 day a week, no fasting at all. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And you're going to get beans, you're going to get sweet potatoes, you're going to get some good, healthy carbohydrates in. So your body can make estrogen and your body can make progesterone. Because even if it doesn't matter if you're 80, it doesn't matter if you're 90, your body still needs estrogen and progesterone to feel happy and healthy, okay? To have a metabolism that's working the way it should. So, again, the further you are past menopause, the more we need to focus on your bones and on your muscles, okay? Muscle mass loss, bone loss is so crucial for women as we age. This is what's going to keep you out of the nursing home. This is what's going to give you mobility as long as you're on this planet, right? You want to do some weight-bearing exercise. You want to learn how to do a push-up. You want, and it may seem like you can't, start working on it anyway, right? A woman, no matter her age, no, this is the science, guys, no matter her age, is supposed to be able to do 9 push-ups. I cannot do 9 push-ups. I'm still a work in progress on that, ladies. But that is what we're supposed to be able to do. Just so you know, you want to test how strong you are, see if you can do it, right? As well, women are supposed to be able to do a farmer's carry. A farmer's carry that is literally, you're supposed to be able to lift like your weight, your body weight, guys. As in, okay, I'm 120 pounds, 60 pounds in both hands and be able to carry it for a minute. I can't do it. I tried. I can't do it. I'm working on that as well. But that's what shows our strength. If you want to test your strength and see where you are, that shows where you're supposed to be as a woman as you age, right? It's just, you start testing yourself and really seeing what you can do, and you'll be amazed at how far the little baby steps we need to make and to build protein, get the protein synthesis in so we can build muscle mass and prevent bone loss. Because holding on to weight, just holding on to it, lifting weights, doing a push-up, doing a squat, even if you have to assist, hold on to something, that is weight-bearing exercise. And that weight-bearing exercise builds your bones, guys. Builds your bones. Do you want to have a fall? Do you want to have a break? No, of course not. Of course not, ever. Whether it's now in my 40s or then in my 90s. I don't want to fall because my balance is bad, because I never do any exercise, right? I don't work on my mobility and my balance. And because I don't have any muscle mass for stability. I want to be able to do weight-bearing exercise because this is absolutely positively going to help you. So, all right. And like I said, one more time to remind you, you still have to, no matter your age, step out of fasting 1 day a week. step out of it, it actually feels uncomfortable on the day that you step out of it. I'll be completely honest with you. It feels uncomfortable because fasting feels good. It feels good to your gut. Your gut doesn't even want to do it. But I'm telling you, to build your hormones, this is what you need to do. So if you look at this cycle, you'll see that there at the bottom, it says hormone feasting. Well, what the heck is hormone feasting? Those are days for the perimenopausal woman who's following this calendar to consume 100 to 150 grams of progesterone building carbohydrates, the beans, the potatoes, the quinoa, the citrus and tropical fruits, the dark leafy greens, the sunflower and pumpkin seeds, okay? Okay, also you want to get your grass-fed beef, you want to get your poultry. I mean, you still want to eat meat, you still want to eat protein, but you can also consume the potatoes, the squash, the beans, the stuff that we don't always eat because it's high carb, or it's considered high carb. Now, as well as we want to get some estrogen building foods in here. All right. Now, for our postmenopausal ladies, I want you guys to understand, you can have these high carb days too. You get them 1 day a week. Our perimenopause, that's your 1 day, your 1 day of feasting. You want to get in that 100 grams or 150 grams of carbs with the estrogen and progesterone building foods. So you can have your soy, your tofu, your flaxseed and berries are very, very good, which flaxseed you can do all month long, but adding a lot of berries, getting in a lot of healthy fats like your fish and nuts and avocados. Fish and avocado all month long. Nuts, you're getting a lot more carbs in. You don't want to overdo it with the nuts, except for this day. Fiber, fruits, veggies. You want some whole grain, you miss the bread. This is when you're going to consume a little whole grain bread, throw the avocado on top. It's called balance. Calcium from your dairy. If you're someone who doesn't consume dairy all the time because you're worried about all the calories and all of that coming in from that, consume some calcium induced dairy at this point in time. We're trying to get in more healthy carbohydrates. But like I said, one more time, for the perimenopausal women, that's during the hormone feasting portion of the cycle. For post-menopause, 1 day a week. You can go calorie restricted the rest of the week if you want. You can go low carb if you want. Low carb is best if you're trying to get metabolically healthy or you're trying to lose weight. And then 1 day a week, you really want to focus on, again, progesterone feeding foods, estrogen feeding foods. So if you're never getting in your berries, never getting in your fruit, never getting in all the stuff that, never taking in the sweet potatoes or the squash, never taking in these higher carbohydrates, really nutrient dense foods, you really need to cycle it in to what you're eating. You just don't do it every day, right? We don't eat a bunch of fruit every single day. Now, during the ketobiotic part of the perimenopause cycle I'm looking at right here. All right, and for the rest of you, ketobiotic is the rest of the week. That's your 5 days a week for the menopausal women. All right, past menopause, 5 days a week, you can eat ketobiotic for best health. That's low net carb veggies, spinach, celery, mushrooms, cauliflower, cabbage, broccoli, zucchini, spaghetti, squash, and artichokes are a little bit higher on the carbs. So I don't do those on the daily, but the lower carbs, more ketobiotic, and eat meat. Protein, get your protein in. Protein is always, guys, protein is always on the list. You don't have to overeat. I know some people are saying, oh, I got to eat 150 grams of protein and blah, blah, blah. Guys, you don't need to do that, but at the same time, can't overeat protein. You really can't. You really can't unless you're very insulin resistant. So when we talk about vegetables, okay, on the left here is the low net carb, really low sugar veggies. And then on the right, you're getting what we call worst veggies. These are the veggies you can have on your hormone feasting days. Things like peas, corn, squash, potatoes, yams. It's not that they're unhealthy, it's just they're higher sugar. So if you're trying to get metabolically healthy, if you're focused on getting your insulin, your blood sugar down, or you're trying to lose some weight, the worst veggies are the 1 day a week veggies for our menopausal women, or just for hormone feasting days for the other women. We want to stick with our best veggies or our lower net carbs for the majority of the time. You don't love these? Learn to love them with seasoning, with butter, finding different ways to consume them, making sure you just adding them with protein, getting your healthy fats and protein in every single day, making sure you have fish at least once a week, getting in some avocado throughout your week, get in your healthy fats. You can do the handful of nuts with your meal. Just remember, you're not eating nuts all day long as snacks throughout the day. That's going to get your blood sugar up, guys. Okay, so you want to always mix your fats and your proteins with things like fiber. That's why our beautiful balanced fiber is so incredible. So, in summary, when you do some fasting, this is going to give you some energy. Now you can use our Unimate and you can use our balance, our beautiful tea, and our beautiful fiber. If someone invited you to this meeting, please ask them for more information about it because I didn't dive into the supplements really far, but they help us do fasting. It gives us more energy. It gives us more mental clarity. And it really does absolutely help the female cycle. I know for me, myself, my friend Tanya is on here as well. She's post-hysterectomy. I'm perimenopause for both of us. It is done. It's just been amazing to regulate our hormones, get rid of the hot flashes, and help us sleep through the night. It has micronutrients and vitamins we need for overall health and supporting the hormones. The 16-8 fasting with food variation works. If you're trying to build hormones and your hormones are a mess, and you know this because you're tired all the time, you're craving all the time, you're struggling with weight, hot flashes, can't sleep through the night, guys. This is what tells us if we're struggling with our hormones. If you're struggling, the 16-8 fasting with the tea and the fiber, the Unimate and balance, absolutely works. But we want to focus on hormones and step out of fasting too. Okay, we don't want to overdo it. Using a fasting calendar like Dr. Mindy, incredible to help balance the hormones. Exercise when it is best for your body. Don't overdo it. It's not meant to be stressful. It's meant to feel good. Build muscles. Lift the heavy weights in the eating window. And just a reminder, your stress absolutely matters. Spend at least 5 days a month focusing on mental health and self-care. Schedule it. Put it on your calendar like you put your workouts, like you put your bill paying, like anything else. Schedule time for your mental health because as we age as women, it is crucial to our hormone health.